Go ahead, be gone with it. Go ahead, be gone with it. Look at those hips. Go ahead, be gone.
Hello and welcome to my Less I Know meme. So as you can see in the beginning, that's what we're going to create here, and what you're going to need is the Twixtor plugin. If you don't have that already, then you can look it up online on how to get it. So I already marked out each beat of where we're going to switch into the videos, and to do that you press L twice and you'll see these wavelengths. So see, if I zoom in, you can see all the beats and stuff, and you can mark them with the asterisk key on your keyboard, or if you drag it from the right over here. So I'm going to put that away, and we're going to start from here. So starting at 5, because that's where you're going to have all the beats and stuff. So I'm going to put my first video. This one is Carl dancing, and I'm gonna scale it up so that it fits. There we go. When you scale it, it's gonna lose quality, but honestly, it's part of the meme. It could be funny that way. So once you have this video, we're gonna see where to end it, or first we're gonna render it. All right. Oh, we're also gonna have to mute this video. So at 9 is when you want to cut it out. You can drag it like that, or I'm just gonna delete that extra stuff. Okay. So then for the next video, we're gonna put in Isabel dancing from Animal Crossing. And I'm going to do the same, press S for scale and bring it up. There we go. I'm going to save that. And now we're going to see where that ends. First we got to render it and mute it. Alright. Oh, it's a long video. Alright, well, we don't need it to be that long. We're just gonna cut it here. So over here is when we cut it out. So right now, this is our 2 videos we're using. Okay. So now, we have to actually drag this video a little more so that's on the marker, and add more to it. Okay, so this is when we go to our effects, and we're gonna have to look up Twixtor, and you can put Twixtor on both here, drag them on both. So over here we want 23.976 for the input frame rate. You're just gonna have to change that. Gonna do that to the Carl video. Make sure you have that one selected, or the first video that you're using. Change motion sensitivity to 100. Speed, we will change that later. Blend and flame interp needs to be motion weighted blend, and then checkmark smart blend. So we're gonna start at the beginning, and we're gonna press the stopwatch for speed and put it at 300. We're gonna press U to see our keyframes. You can press Control C and go to each of the ticks you created, and Control V for each of the 300 speed percent keyframes. So we go to each one and it'll have 300. Then we want to go to the middle of each one and set the speed percent to 25, and you can Control C that and go to the middle of every other one. At least try to be near the middle. I know it might not evenly be spread out. So now you can see that the speed changes based on if it's 25 or 300. We're gonna scroll or although and press F9, or right click and do keyframe assistant, and then easy east, or whatever your easy east button is. Then we're gonna click one, and we're gonna press the graph editor. So for this, you're gonna want to drag out these keyframes on the bottom all the way. And then you can change the top ones a little bit. You can kind of just play around with it and see what it needs to look like, but this is what I did for my video. It barely does a change on the top ones, but that should be good. And we're also going to go over here and put motion blur on, turn it on, and we're going to want to press this block one twice. So let's let that render, and let's see how it goes. Alright, so this is what we have at the start. It kind of does like a pause at each beat, which is good. Alright, and then we're going to want to do the same thing to Isabel, but not yet. So we're going to want the motion tile effect, which you can drag that on to each of them. Set the output width to 500 and the output height to 500, and you want to mirror the edges. I'm going to do that to the other one too. Or this one is the Carl one. And we can put this drop down menu away because we don't need it right now. So this is when we have to move and stuff. So for each beat, we're going to press S again. You can also pre-comp this. There we go. So now we press S, and we'll start with, we're gonna move it to an all other attributes, so that'll be back at 100. We don't fuck anything up. So scale, we're gonna put 1 at each one. Alright. So you might want to like move it in and out. Oh wait, our motion tiles in here. You can go into the pre-comp. Whoops, that's too far. And copy the motion tile and pop it in there. So now we want to change the scale. We should actually do position first, but keep that at 100 and move that around. So if we do position, we're going to want to separate dimensions and keyframe each. So for each bump, we'll have it move a little bit, which you can just move it on the screen itself. Well, that's Isabel. So this is what it looks like now. And we can keyframe that a little bit better by pressing F9. And we'll have another over here to transition to the Isabel one. And we're gonna go into the graph editor, and over here you can change how you want it to move. So let's see how this looks. I think that looks good. You can change these graphs to look like anything like this. You can even move it like that and have this go up, or this go down, and this go straight. Stuff like that, and we can look at it again. See, you just gotta play with it, because that didn't look as great as what I had earlier. And with motion tile, you might see mirrored stuff, but that's fine. We're also going to want to change the rotation, so put a keyframe at each one. So here, this can be 0, this can be like, or if you want to have it rotate in the beginning, you can have it like a 3, then -3, then 3 again, -3, or we'll have this one at 0, and this one at -3. It doesn't really matter what you do here, you can just change it around. You can make it rotate even more if you want. We're going to easy ease that and see how that looks like. So that might look like a little too much. So I'm gonna set this to 0. This is 3, and then this is gonna be -3. And then this is 0, and then this is gonna be +3. And this might look a little bit better. Yeah, that looks better. And now we're gonna go back to scale. So say you wanna zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. You don't want to zoom in that much because of motion tile, but it should look fine. We can also easy set and see how that looks. So that's a lot of zoom. You can also change the graph editor. Let's see how that looks. Alright, that looks kind of better. If you don't see this type of graph editor, you're probably in the speed graph, so it looks kind of funky. But you're going to have to right click and go to value graph. And now let's do a transition. So we're going to pre-comp this again, so that we don't mess with any position stuff. We're going to have to separate the dimensions again. And let's do a simple, like, let's do a rotation actually. So start with that keyframe and then move this to like 90. We're gonna need motion tile again. You can probably have that in your copy and paste still. This is gonna have to be put back. Okay. Oh, that looks funky. Let's redo that. Alright, so we have this. Let's start it right here and then well, actually this one rotation might not look good for this, so let's do position. I'm sorry, let's go back to position. So we're gonna keyframe X and then we're gonna shift it. Doesn't really matter how much you shift it. We're gonna F9 that and we're gonna make it look smooth. So let's bring that through and this one through. There we go. Save that. So this is moving. And then this is gonna have to do the same thing but opposite basically. So keyframe that, and since this is going from the right, this one has to go from, or like left to right. And we're gonna smooth that out. Let's bring this in a little closer. Keyframe this forward. I'm sure you know how to do this. This is really a beginner tutorial, but I might make more beginner tutorials on my channel later. This is actually my first tutorial, so I'm not really sure how great this is, but we're working on it. So that's just a slide. You can change that and stuff. And then we're gonna have to do the same thing for Isabel, which is just what you did here. So you're gonna do the Twixtor stuff. I'll do the Twixtor stuff, and I'm sure you can do the rest on your own. So let's keyframe this and set it to 300. Press U. Smart blend. Set all that up that I had. And motion sensitivity of 100. Alright, so we go to the Twixtor and we copy that and paste that each marker. And then go to the middle and set it to 25. You can also do this, if you don't have Twixtor, you can right click and go to time and enable time remapping. which you'll have to look up a tutorial for that because this isn't gonna touch time remapping at all. So we're gonna go back in this graph editor and move all these. You can also hold shift to make sure it goes directly straight. If you don't hold shift, then it might look kind of weird, but shift makes it exact. And let's see how that looks. Alright, so it does that little pause. You might want to change that a little bit. You can even like move these up, or the top ones, keep them straight too. Might be a lot, but let's see. Looks a little bit better. But yeah, you just have to mess around with all that. And this is what we have total. Alright. And I think that's all for the tutorial. You're just gonna have to do that through this entire song. And do whatever you want for the beginning. But this is basically the idea. I'd use, if you want to look a lot better, I'd use better quality videos. This is like 360p, like off YouTube or something, so it's not that great. Also remember to pre-comp if you need to. It will make stuff easier, and use motion tile and Twixtor. So yeah, I hope that's a good tutorial for you. Let me know if I need to mention anything, or if you're having any troubles. You can let me know in the comments below and I'll try to help you. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this video, and see ya.